Hello and welcome to Funky Fallen Triangle. I think this is a pretty fun class. We're working towards a shape called fallen triangle that is kind of like side plank, but the bottom leg is stuck out to the side and you look a little bit like a triangle with the 3 points of contact. You'll know what I mean when we get to it. So it's a lot of strengthening in the upper body and the core as well as the side body, but there's also a lot of elements of length and stretching for the side bodies as well as for the hips. So hopefully it gives you a good balance of strength and stretch, and hopefully you just have a little bit of fun with it. There's lots of fun, cool transitions, and like I said, if I could say it one more time, I think it's fun. So as for props, you probably won't really need too many other than the usual things. Have a block handy. We will be using a block or a pillow towards the end of class, so just have that somewhere nearby. And whenever you're ready, we will begin. All right, my friend, so we are going to begin on our backs. So lay on down, however you would like to today. Taking a few moments to get yourself settled. As usual, adjusting what you need to adjust before settling into stillness for the first few moments. And taking a few deep breaths to ground yourself in this space. Ground yourself into your mat. And as you take those first few deep breaths, taking a moment to thank yourself for showing up. Because no matter what you do or what you don't do throughout this practice, remind yourself that it really doesn't matter. How encouraging is that? Really, the most important thing is the fact that you are here. You showed up. You're taking time to move in a way that hopefully makes you feel good and alive and empowered. And the rest is just bonus, extra. Reminding yourself to have a little bit of fun. Don't be afraid to play around a little bit as you move. Don't be afraid to fall, to feel a little weird or uncomfortable or uncoordinated. Don't be afraid to feel like you and to embrace yourself, your body, just the way you are. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Slowly bring movement, any movement that feels good to you in this moment. Any movement to help you feel. Slowly the knees hug in towards the chest. Give yourself a little squeeze and sway from side to side. Warming up into the low back and the hips. Come to stillness, lower the right foot to the floor, but keep the knee bent and take the left ankle over the right thigh. We're coming in to thread the needle, but if this feels like enough of a stretch for the left hip and glutes, you can stay. If you'd like a little more, lift the right foot, grab the right hamstring or shin. And you can stay with a bit of movement here, swaying from side to side. Usually feels pretty nice for me, but see what feels good for you. Maybe you like a little bit of an ankle roll, wiggling the toes a bit. If you're moving, come to stillness. See how that feels for a few breaths, letting the shoulders drop down. Feel the spine really long. Take one more big breath in. And as you breathe out, let the right foot make its way down to the floor. Keep your legs as they are. Just let them fall towards the right side. And as they fall, can you keep your legs in that shape, just letting your left foot land onto the floor? If it feels really tight and like the foot can't land and you feel really closed off, then you can slide your legs a little bit further away from your shoulders. Give yourself a little more room from your feet to your shoulders. Maybe taking arms really wide or somewhere comfortable for you. And so I want you to press into the left foot just a little bit so that you feel a stretch down the outer left hip. So you're also getting a twist through the spine, but warming up into the hips a lot because we'll definitely be needing to have them pretty open as well as pretty strong. If it feels okay for the left knee, I want you to think about reaching the left knee up towards the ceiling and gently pressing the right thigh into the outer left ankle. And take a few breaths with those points of contact, left foot, right thigh, left shoulder dropping down. Now slowly roll over to your right hand side. Keep your left foot planted if you can. Stretch your right leg long and then come up onto the right forearm. So your elbow is either under your shoulder or slightly away from it. You can make a fist with the right hand, make it really strong. As you feel your right leg really long here, flex the right foot so you're pressing into the pinky toe edge of it. Left foot, I want you to make sure that it's not super close to the bottom leg. If it feels really tight already in the left hip, slide your foot away, maybe even off of your mat if you're not on something slippery. Now we're going to ground into the feet, into the right forearm to lift the hips up, squeeze the right side body. Hand can be on hip or you can reach up into a bit of a side plank. Keep pressing into the outer edge of the right foot, pressing into the sole of the left foot. Again, hopefully getting that stretch through left hip, strengthening right side body. And from here, we're taking a few little pulses with the hips. So gently pressing them up and letting them drop just a couple of inches. Doesn't have to be anything too big right now. You're squeezing the right side body, feeling probably a bit of stretching also down the outer right leg. Take your last couple little pulses here. And then slowly let your hips lower as you just roll back onto your back side, hugging your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a little rock from side to side. Maybe circle the knees around. And come to stillness for the second side. Left foot plants down as right ankle crosses over the thigh. Staying here if you like, or lifting the left foot for thread the needle. Grabbing where you need to, and maybe taking a bit of movement again, side to side. Ankles might move, toes might wiggle, but the shoulders stay dropping down so that the spine can be really long here. And maybe you take the last few breaths in stillness, gently drawing the left knee in a little closer, as the right forearm guides the right knee away, only if that feels safe for the right knee. Take one more big breath in. And as you exhale, let the left foot lower down onto the mat. This time the legs begin to fall towards the left side. So the right foot plants flat down. And again, if you feel like things are too tight, too constricted, you can slide your legs, your feet a little bit further away from your shoulders. Give yourself a little more room so that you can anchor the right shoulder down. You can keep your right foot relatively flat. And again, see how it feels to reach the right knee a little bit higher towards the ceiling. Gently pressing the left thigh into the outer right ankle. Enjoying the twist, but also feeling the stretch through the right hip and glutes. Now let's slowly this time roll over towards your left side. As left leg stretches along, come up onto the left forearm, elbow under shoulder or a little bit ahead of it. Strong fist with the left hand as you press into the right foot, outer edge of the left foot, so that you can lift your hips up. You might even need to heel toe the left foot a little bit closer to you if you feel like you can't really press it down into the floor. Right arm could reach up. If it feels too much for the right hip, scoot your right foot a bit further away from you. And when you're ready, take those little pulses, lifting hips up and down a couple inches, really feeling the squeeze in the left side obliques, feeling shoulders and hips stacked. Again, your right foot might be completely off of your mat, and that's okay as long as you feel like you've got a good grip. Keep the flex in the left foot. Take your last couple of little pulses, and then lower the hips down. This time, lift the upper body, so wing the legs around, make your way into a child's pose. Knees as wide as you'd like, big toes together, arms reach long. Keep arms nice and active here, spreading fingers really wide, pressing hips towards the heels, even though they might not touch. Feel length down both sides of the body. And then begin to walk your hands towards the right side, either to the edge or off of your mat. Feel the length a little more down the left through the rib cage, down into the hip. Now let's take the right arm out wide to the side like a T, press down into the right hand. As the left arm reaches up and over, the upper body lifts. So you're in a side stretch over towards the right side. Adjust the right hand if you need to. Long down the left side, leaning to the right. Now push the ground away with the right hand so both arms reach up through center. Drop the left hand down so you're stretching to the left, but right away let that right hand lower and begin to crawl your hands through center. As though you're moving through a little child's pose, you can have your arms as long out as you'd like. Right hand plants back down, left arm reaches up and over. And we'll take that 2 more times. So floating the arms through center, stretching to the left. But then once both hands land, crawl them across the mat, through a little child's, back to the right, until you land on the right and take 1 more time through, flowing through center. And meeting last time with the right hand planted, left arm up and over. You stay where you are. I'm just going to turn to face you. It'll be a little bit easier to see from this side. From this side stretch, you're going to press into the right hand so the hips can lift and the left leg stretches out long. Press into the sole of the left foot. So you're already in a bit of a side plank here. That's a good theme we got going on through this practice. Lots of side planks. So feel the right side body strong, the right glute, give it a squeeze. Take your left hand onto your left hip. Push the ground away with the right hand so you can lift your upper body, and then turn the left toes so they face away from you. Bend the left knee and start to take little pulses, reaching hips forward and down. I love this stretch. Feels so good for the inner thighs. So your shoulders are stacked above the hips. Just taking a couple little pulses. And then we'll meet with the hips reaching forward and down. Take your arms long, so it's like a little mini warrior 2. Now flip the left palm and take it into a mini reverse warrior. So the right hand can rest on the leg. If it can touch the floor, go ahead, bring your fingertips to the floor, but keep bending into your left knee, getting that good stretch through the inner thighs. Now let's take it into a mini side angle. So either left forearm onto thigh or hand to the floor, to the inner foot. Let's reach right arm up and over the ear so it's long. So notice if you're bumping your hips back. I feel like I tend to do this. So hips, rather than bumping back and away, press them forward and down. Get that good stretch through the inner left thigh. Now lower right hand down, crawl your hands towards the top of the mat, slide your left knee back to meet your right. I'm just going to turn back onto my mat. You're in a plank on your knees and bend your elbows, lower down. Inhale to a nice little cobra. Exhale, press it back, child's. Let's make our way into the second side. So the hands walk over towards the left. Pause here with the hips reaching back. Breathing in the right side body into the rib cage. Feel the ribs flare open. And then take your left arm out to the side like a T as you start to lift the upper body. Right arm reaches up and over. Adjust the left hand as you need to. Feel all that space down the right side. Now push the ground away with the left hand so you flow up through center, planting right hand down, lowering left hand down. Crawl through center, letting the upper body fold as far forward as you'd like, and taking 2 more of these. It's kind of like a circle, kind of like a rainbow, whatever you want it to be, make it that. Finish off 1 more full circle. Meeting back with the left hand planted, right arm reaching up and over. So you're in that side body stretch, and then start to lift the hips up, extend the right leg long. If you find that that planted hand needs to move a little bit, move it a little bit, no problem. Say hello to whatever you might be touching with your right fingertips or your right foot. Sometimes space is lacking in our home practice, but we make do with what we have. It's kind of nice to feel what's around you, to be really aware of what's around you. Plant into the right foot as you start to bring right hand onto right hip, lift the upper body. Slide left hand onto left hip as the right toes spin out, they point away, your knee bends. Take those little pulses. Hips pressing forward and down. Lengthening through the spine, shoulders stacked over hips. Come to stillness with hips reaching forward and down, arms reaching long. Maybe you look out over those right fingertips. Now flip the right palm and reverse it. Left hand resting on the left leg, long through the right side body. Mini side angle, right forearm either on the thigh or hand to the floor to the inner foot. Left arm, reach it up and over. Feel so long down the left side. Feel the hips press forward and down rather than back and away. If the arm is to the inside of the right leg, can you use it to guide the knee back just a little bit? Now lower your left hand down, crawl your hands through center, slide right knee back to meet the left. You're in a plank on your knees. Bend the elbows lower to the floor. Breathe in, little cobra. Breathe out through child's. And then we'll lift up into a tabletop. So you're on all fours. I'm just going to turn to face you again because we are going to warm up the wrists as well as the forearms and the fingers because we will be doing a lot of weight bearing on the wrists. So this exercise is really meant to focus on where you're bringing weight in your hands. So you hopefully are still in your tabletop and just notice, where is the weight in your hands? Are you pressing, dumping into the wrists? And as you start to bring your attention to where the weight is, I want you to think about shifting more weight forward into your hands. So we'll be talking about finger pads, so where your fingerprint is, finger pads, and bottom knuckles, so where the finger meets the palm. With your hands, your fingers spread wide, but not so wide that they feel strained. I want you to think about digging into the mat with your finger pads and your bottom knuckles. So if you might even feel a bit of weight shift forward, and thinking of your finger pads, your bottom knuckles like brakes. So they're gonna stop you from going too far forward, but they will also help to support the wrists. Now keeping the finger pads and the bottom knuckles grounding down, see if you can lift your right wrist off the mat. Gently lower it down. And then the left wrist off the mat, and take it down. And alternate right and left. If the thumb wants to lift up as well, then that's okay too. Gonna do what feels best with that thumb. The main part is thinking about keeping finger pads and the bottom knuckles grounding down into the mat. You definitely do not have to do this fast. Take it slow, really feel it. If you want to try a little bit more intensity, you could try lifting both wrists at the same time. Maybe trying a couple of those. And then meeting back in your tabletop, noticing how maybe the weight is automatically already shifted forward to finger pads and bottom knuckles. Let's take the left leg long here, toes tuck under. Spin the right hand around as best you can, so you spin it clockwise towards the long edge of the mat. Maybe fingers aim towards the knees. Keep pressing into the fingertips as you inhale, lift the heart, lift the tail. Exhale, round. A little bit of cat-cow here. And you take a few more rounds of breath, but also still getting into the wrist as well as into the back toes, calf. Maybe you press through the heel a little bit. Maybe you dig into the toes a little more. Finish off your last round of inhale and exhale. Coming back to a long spine in the center, bring left knee back down, stretch right leg long, pressing sole of right foot down, reach right arm up. You're back in a side plank. Make a fist with the top right hand and just roll that wrist around a couple times. Just move around, all that effort and strength that you were just finding in the wrist and in the fingers. Now let's lower right hand down and start to, with the right leg long, come to a three-legged tabletop. So lifting the right toes off the mat. Make sure your hands are shoulder width here. As you take a big breath in, kick through your right heel. On your exhale, pull your knee in towards your nose, push the ground away. As you inhale, kick the right leg back. You can stay here, or optional little push-up, bend the elbows. As you push the ground away, pull your knee towards your right elbow. Inhale, kick it back. Option if you'd like to bend the elbows, try to keep them close as the leg extends. As you push the ground away, pull your left knee or your right knee to your left elbow. Last time we kick it back, maybe you bend the elbows, little push up. As you push the ground away, knee pulls in towards the nose. Step your foot up into a low lunge, feet hip width apart. Upper body lifts as the arms lift, palms meet. And bring your hands to your heart, take a twist towards the right side. A simple twist, but as you focus one point, can you feel the body finding its balance? The inner thighs lifting up towards each other, the front heel driving down, the shoulders stacked over the hips, the breath smooth and steady and full. Now slowly unwind from your twist. Bring your hands down, slide your right foot out from between the hands as you pull right knee back to right elbow. Take it over to the left twist. Step it back to a plank from knees or toes, your choice. Bend the elbows to lower. Lift the chest, enjoy a little back bend. And press it back through child's. Lift it up to all fours. Second side. Left hand spins around, right leg long. Can you check in with the wrists, push into finger pads, bottom knuckles. Breathe in, lift the heart, little lift of the tail, cow. Breathe out, round, press the ground away. Couple more rounds of gentle cat-cow here. As we get into the back of the right leg, calf, ankle, toes, into the left forearm and wrist. Next inhale brings you back to a nice long spine in the center. Right knee lowers down. Left leg stretches long. Left arm reaches up. You're in a side plank. Make a fist with the left hand and then roll it around. Couple times, both directions. Keep pressing into the outer edge of the left foot and squeezing the right glute and pressing into right finger pads. Now lower left hand down. You're coming into that three-legged table with the left leg lifted this time. Hands are shoulder width. Take a big breath in, press through the heel. As you breathe out, round it in, knee to nose. Inhale, kick back. Optional push-up, bend the elbows, keep them close. As you exhale, push the ground away, left knee, left elbow. Inhale, kick it back. Maybe you bend the elbows, maybe not. Exhale, take the knee across to the right elbow. Inhale, kick, last time if you want that push-up. Exhale, knee to nose. And step your foot up. Coming back into that low lunge, feet hip width. Upper body lifts, palms meet. As you bring your hands to your heart, twist towards the left side. Find some strength, a nice big squeeze in the right glute. As your right hip reaches forward, your left hip wraps back. Your spine gets a little longer with each inhale. You enjoy that twist with each exhale. Next inhale brings you back to center. Hands plant. Slide that left foot out from between the hands as you pull left knee to left elbow. Take it across to the right elbow. Step it back to your plank, your choice, knees or toes. Where is the weight in the hands? Bend the elbows lower, either halfway or all the way. Your choice of back bend, maybe it's an up dog today or now. And then meet in downward facing dog. First downward dog of the practice, so move it around. Use that movement to check in, to feel, to shake off what you need to shake off. Come to stillness. Lift the heels high, look forward. Bend your knees, make your way up to the top, forward fold. Take another little sway here. Feel free to grab opposite elbows. Enjoy the space in the back body. And come to stillness. Let's drop the hands down. Take a breath in, halfway lift, gazing to the floor, neck long. As you breathe out, forward fold. Inhale brings you all the way up to standing, arms reach high. Exhale, hands to heart. Take one breath in. Exhale to settle. We'll take one round of sun salutation. Big breath in, reach up. Big breath out, fold. Inhale to your halfway lift, strong legs and core. Exhale, plant the hands, step it back to your plank from knees or toes, your choice. Bend the elbows lower, either halfway or all the way. Inhale to cobra or up dog, strong legs. Exhale to your downward facing dog. Stay in stillness as you take a full inhale and let it go. Inhale, lift the heels, look forward. As you exhale, bend your knees, make your way up to the top, forward fold. Inhale to a nice flat back. Exhale, let it go. Inhale brings you all the way back up, palms touch. Exhale, hands meet at the heart. Pause again, breath in and out.